So this will be the last few turns of the series. I don't think it's going to be the last video. I think we're going to take another video to kind of determine what we're going to do about this. I just think that this has been the closest AI-only battle in Civ 5 we've ever had, and I just don't know how we're going to determine the victor here. I'm leaning definitely towards Rome. I can see that a lot of you guys are also leaning towards Rome. I think that the only advantage that Rome has right now is that they have the most capitals. They control the most capitals. 4 compared to Ethiopia's 3, Mongolia's 3, and Russia's 1. Russia, I believe, only controls Warsaw, Poland. But still, and I think that I don't think Catherine is going to win this game. At the end of the day, Catherine really only took over Korea. They've got a good military. I'm sorry, not Korea. They took over Poland. They only took over Poland. And that was really all they really did. I guess they took over the Huns, but the Huns were weak, and the Polish War was pretty big. I will give them that. And Russia had a very, very good game. I don't want to make any decisions, though. There has been one war that broke out over the break, and that was Champa versus the Philippines. This is actually going to be a very interesting one because if the Philippines gang another city here, they could be really taking away a lot more points from some of these other 4 great powers in the info addicts. They're totally could be taking away a lot of points. So if they have a successful war against the Champa, they take away a city or two, or I guess if they lose a city, then they'll be maybe giving up points to another civ. But anyways, yeah, no, and this will be kind of an interesting development. I'm hoping that no wars will break out, no big wars will break out at the end of this video, or in this video, because that is going to be kind of upsetting if there is. I actually don't know if the Philippines are going to be able to take this over. It looks like the Philippines declared war on the Champa, but look at this massive navy that the Champa have under their control. Destroyers from all different sides. Luckily for the Philippines, there aren't too many battleships. There are, but they're not that many. The Champa should have more battleships. I wonder if Indonesia is going to get involved. Remember, Indonesia launched kind of a sneak attack against somebody, but who knows what that was for. Ethiopia did the same thing, and we still are trying to determine exactly what they were going for as well. These Roman settlers might actually make it, but I don't think they're going to be able to get placed down and settled before 550. I don't think so, but there are 2 that are looking like they're going to make it. There's a tank protecting another one, though. The Romans have somewhat began the siege of this city, but they are not going to get the job done. Let's watch the Champa. Let's see what they're going to do. They took away quite a bit of damage. Not that too much. These are big cities, and they're with lots of city defense. Look at that. Over 100, almost 150 city defense. I mean, that is incredible. That is crazy. Have the Philippines had any success here? Not really. Mongolia was now embargoed. All right, let's go to the next turn. I don't know. This might be somewhat stagnant, and I don't think it's going to have much of an impact on the world as a whole. These 2 nations. I guess Mongolia could go after the Champa. That could be a legitimate possibility here. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if that were to occur. What else do we have? We still have Persia going after Argos of Greece, but, nothing too big it will happen there. Ooh, okay, so Mali definitely stole away 1 settler. They're going to steal away another one more than likely because their turn process is at the end. Where did that tank go that was protecting this other settler? So again, the Roman AI just making huge mistakes, and they're not going to be able to capture I don't think they're going to capture this city. They probably could have gotten up so many extra colonies in South America. They could have done several more, but they were not able to get the job done, I don't believe. Oh yeah, over the break also England took over this Zulu city off the Yucatan Peninsula. So technically England reinforced with a bigger navy, I'm guessing from Nottingham, and they're attacking Florida. Zulu owned Florida, but without that strong navy to take over, the Yucatan Peninsula, without that, I mean, because I think they lost a lot of units in the process of that war, of that battle, that siege, I should say. Let's go ahead and double check in the Southeast Asian islands. Here go the Philippines. Let's see what they do. They should be able to destroy a lot of Champa units. Yeah, they did. And they've even begun the siege here in the Champa go. Oh, man. This is going to be pretty back and forth. It actually might be pretty stagnant. If anything, Mongolia might get up the courage to attack the Champa from the north to the south. They've already have units, because remember, the Mongolians have been going after India for a long time. They were never able to take over India, and that would have really given them a lot of extra power in the population category in the info addicts. But they were not able to do it. They were close, but they were not able to get the job done. And Rome and their military is just a complete mess. I gotta give it to Mali here for standing up to the Romans. And look at this massive navy that they have too. I mean, they really have a large force. Really a large force. So even if Rome does decide to attack along the Atlantic Ocean, I mean, they're not gonna have much luck there at all. They would not have much luck at all. England cannot take over the Zulu, I don't believe, with this small force. Austria. We have Sweden building the Manhattan Project. I didn't realize how far behind Sweden was in terms of technology. They are pretty far behind. I'm actually surprised that Sweden has no friends, or no legitimate friends. You know, we checked the friendships in the last video. Rome was allied to the Boer, and Mongolia was allied to Mali. Sweden seems like it's being impacted by somebody, some source. Just don't know who it is. I wouldn't be like Ethiopia would be very smart for allying someone like Sweden, or I guess Mongolia could do the same thing, because Sweden both borders Russia and Rome. It's actually incredible that they've stayed around for so long. Even if Russia did go to war with Sweden, though, I don't think they'd have much success. Portugal, same way. I'm surprised that no one is allied to Portugal. At least maybe the Portuguese and the Philippines should have maybe thought about teaming up, because they were both powers that just needed that extra oomph, I guess. That's all they really needed. Boom, Champa have destroyed the Philippines siege, or their attempt to siege. And nothing is going to come from this war, I don't think. Both nations just had a bunch of units destroyed. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. They're just going to go lower and lower in the info addicts. That's about it. We have the Indonesian infantry trying to move around, I'm thinking Cape Horn, but they're very unsuccessful in doing that. And then we have the Zulu here. Still not being able to I don't know, Zulu or the English are not able to do anything. So what I think I'm going to do is, because I want to make sure that we go over the info addicts and I show you guys the info addicts before the end of this video. I think what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead to turn 550, and we're going to look at the info addicts. We're gonna skip over this part because I don't think we're gonna see anything else. I wanted to come back because I thought the Philippines and the Champa would get something going here, but nope, clearly not. So I will be back right away as soon as we get to 550. And here it is. This is what the final political map looks like. The New World, like I said, the colonization wasn't as ideal as I thought it would be. Honestly, Roman Latin America, or I guess Latin America should have been completely filled. South America should be completely filled with Roman units. I'm sorry, Roman cities, I mean, because there had been probably at least, I probably counted like 7 or 8 settlers that got destroyed because Rome was kind of dumb, but they easily won the colonization game. I mean, that was incredible. We have Africa, very, very interesting story that I'm going to get to, but I just want to look at the rest of the world between Rome and Mali. We've got Portugal. Portugal never declared war on Rome, but I thought that they did have technically a chance. I didn't even realize that they showed the railroad system and the infrastructure. That is so cool. I had no idea. Russia, Mongolia, the Great Front is what I started to refer to. Well, now, I guess for the first time I referred to as, this is the Great Front that never ended up happening. To both nations just way too powerful. And then we do have Champa, who, they had a few nations declare war on them because they lost quite a few units to the Philippines, but no one ended up doing anything with that. So, briefly before I jump into the info addicts, you will notice that it is turn 551. That is because I accidentally hit one more next turn, because if you go to single player, or if you go, hit escape options, you go to single player auto end turn. That is how you could just have the game continue to roll on through in these AI only battles. I thought it would automatically end on turn 550. It didn't. But I watched at turn 549, Rome take over this city. And then remember how Mali is the last civ to process their turn. Mali took it back. So technically we cannot count this as a city. If Rome would have captured this city, that means that they would have won the game in terms of the amount of cities. They would have had 25 cities compared to Mongolia's 24. But no, at the last second, because like I said, Mali processed their turn at the very last. They're the last in the list to process their turn. They captured it back. So it is a tie, according to cities, 24 to 24 between Rome and Mongolia. But let's check over the Infoetics. I will not declare a winner, and I'll talk about that later. But population. So even though Ethiopia only had 15 cities, they had so much power in their population. I mean, they really had a lot of power. And for this category, I think I'm going to give a little bit more points because this is a big, big deal. Very big deal. Especially seeing how Rome is so low. Rome and Mongolia. We need to... Well, I guess Russia isn't very much higher than them, but we need to give more points to Ethiopia here. They did a really good job, and I got to give them credit for that. Crop yield goes to Mongolia, surprisingly enough, right? Kind of a defining victory, almost 50 million more. Manufactured goods goes to Rome, then Mongolia, then Ethiopia, then Russia. We've got GNP, which, yeah, I think I'm going to count. This is a big deal. Rome was making a ton of money, lots and lots of money. So was Mongolia and Russia. Ethiopia was as well. But anyways, land area, again, this goes to Mongolia. Just not as defining of a moment as crop yield was, but still going to Mongolia. That's just, I think, strictly because, you know, Rome starts off in Europe, not in Asia, where there's much more tiles for land and stuff like that. Here's the big one, military manpower. I imagine Rome fell pretty far on the list. Yes, they did. We had Mongolia significantly stronger. Wow, look at that. I think that Mongolia was gearing up for a very big war, and I don't know if it was for Russia. We will never know. To be honest, it takes way too long to process these turns. I was barely able to make it to turn 550. I can't possibly go any further. I know some of you guys want me to go further, but I've got to start up a new series. It's just, again, health of the channel sort of thing, and I've talked about this a lot, that I need to, you know, I can only play so many videos into a certain series, and then I've got to move on. It's just a healthy thing for the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So, yeah, Mongolia looks like they might have been gearing up for a big, big war. I don't know. We will never know, but they never ended up getting the job done. They had enough time to do it. Approval, I will not count. Literacy, I don't count. Social standing, I guess. Tibet was dominating. I'm guessing that's because of a unique ability. Philippines are pretty high up here as well, but, you know, social standing doesn't really matter as much. Not counting happiness. The difficulty, you know, because of the difficulty, there's just too many factors that play into happiness. I'm not counting that. It's not necessarily a good thing. Rome should have more population. But anyways, technologies, this is a big one. So Russia was very close to catching the Philippines, only one tech behind. There are 80 techs in total in the tech tree. Then it was Ethiopia, Mongolia. Surprised to see Rome so low on the tech tree. Why is that? Very surprising. Mongolia, 4 techs ahead of them, even though they had the same amount of cities. Wow. Net gold we will not count because GNP is essentially almost the same thing, kind of. Look at all these people. Wow. A lot of nations that didn't have much money at the moment. Cities, here's the big one. Oh, I was wrong. When did Mongolia get their 25th city? Wait a second. When did they grab that? Because they were at 24. Did they establish a new colony? Did they steal something away while I wasn't looking? Yes. No, that's been like that. 1, 2. Well, they have 25. Oh, this is close. This is very close. Oh my goodness. So clearly, you know, we have to kind of look at both. I must have missed something. There's probably something right in front of my face, but I was wrong. So it makes it even more of a bigger impact because now it's not a tie. Rome could have had that final city from Mali, and they could have tied the game, not making another category a loss, a check in the loss category for Augustus. But no, Mongolia is going to take away the most amount of cities in the campaign. Really big deal there. And science doesn't matter. It's pretty much technology. Culture doesn't really matter. Treasury, total faith, don't really care. Influences, no, not influence. Great works doesn't matter. Trade routes don't matter. Tourism is kind of interesting. Look at how much tourism Ethiopia was generating. Again, they had population and they had tourism. And that was what Ethiopia was really, I guess, going for. Because they had double the tourism as the Philippines. I mean, the Philippines are a cultural powerhouse. So Ethiopia really, really brought it today. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of get an overall view of who you guys think won the series. I'm going to do my own formula. It'll probably be a kind of a unique formula, and I'll go over how I got the winner. But tomorrow, or I'm not sure what day today is, but I will release one final video for this series. It'll just be an outro showing everyone that won and announcing the winner. But yes, we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger because that's what I do, and I'm sorry. I know you guys don't like it, but we will figure it out tomorrow, and I want to get your guys' opinion. Let me know who you guys thought won. Leave me a comment in the section below, and obviously I read your comments, and I take them very, very seriously. So we will see, but I definitely have my own opinion, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this series, and I will see you one last time in the series tomorrow.